Hello, my name is Malena Guerrero and I am going to talk about French and English and the uses of the future in both languages. But in first place, I want to explain the history of these both languages, starting with English. English, the story of English started thanks to three tribes that invade and arrived Britain in the 5th century. These are the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. As we know, at that time in Britain, all the inhabitants didn't speak another language, they just speak Celtic. But all of the Celtic speakers were pushed by the invaders. The Germanic tribes spoke similar languages that in Britain was called Old English. This concept did not sound like English today, and it is important to say that the native English speakers now will have great difficulty understanding Old English. However, half of the most commonly used words in modern English have Old English roots. As an example, we have a couple of words that derive from Old English. That these are be, strong, and water. This language was spoken around 1100. And in French, we have that this language, in contrast with English, is part of a group of language known as Romance languages, in which can include Italian and Spanish, because this came from Latin, that was a language from the ancient Romans. And French has a lot of influence of Latin, and it is from derived the most. We can say that the most important aspect of this influence lies in vocabulary, including article, auxiliary, and prepositions, and the most common nouns. Now, I'm going to explain the use of the future in French and in English. In first place, I want to say that in French, the futur proche is an action that is going to happen soon or in a near future. And for use this future in French, we need to write the subject plus the verb aller in present plus a verb in infinitive. This is for the affirmative way. As an example, we have je vais manger. And as we can see here, we are using the subject, that is je, the verb aller conjugated in the form with the present, with the subject, and the verb in infinitive. For a negative way, we need to use the subject plus ne, that is the negative in French, plus the verb aller, plus a verb in infinitive. As an example, we have je ne vais pas manger. And this is the negative form. And for last, we have the interrogative, that we need to put first the verb aller plus the subject plus a verb in infinitive. And as an example, we have vas-tu sortir? And this is the example for the interrogative form. Then we need to be careful. We need to be very careful, because in the third person, in the interrogative, is made in a different way. And I'm going to write it. Here we are going to talk, this is the third person in French, and we need to add a verb in infinitive. And this is the futur proche in French. The simple future in English is the equivalent to the imperfect in Spanish, and we have two ways to express it. It's using the will and the going to. For this we have, I'm going to write it here. We have the subject plus will plus a verb in infinitive. For example, we can say I will run, that in Spanish is voy a correr. And the uses of the going to is for actions that the subject has decided to do. For example, we have I'm going to run, I'm going to eat, I'm going to work out, etc. And as a conclusion, we have that in these both languages, the future is very simple to use, because in French we only need to put the verbal there plus a verb in infinitive, and the same way in English we only add the will and the verb in infinitive, and that is all. Thank you so much.